All righty. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Saturday, August 10th. Welcome to the operational briefing. My name is Nick Wallingford, Planning Section Chief for the Park Incident. If you haven't already, please take a moment to silence your cell phones and radios. If you do need to take a phone call or have a side conversation, please take it to the back so we're not disturbing the others. To begin our briefing, we have our incident objectives. Our management objectives remain unchanged. Our control objectives remain unchanged. And now to NIOPS with our current situation.
Morning, Jeremy Pierce, Operations Section Chief. We get the map, there we go. All right, on this entire west side, starting down in Tehama Delta, all the way up to the branch break there. It's been in patrol status. It's looking really good. 3 days ago, we had a little flare up in the Dye Creek area, about 30 acres. We still got a little bit of work in there to mop that up. We just need to keep that patrol status on there and make sure we don't have any more of those flare-ups. Moving around up at the top of the fire up in branch 12, Manton area, we have that one pocket of heavy fuels that's caused us a lot of problems. Still, we've had some flare-ups, but yesterday was a good day. It was real cool. We didn't have a lot of problems in that area, not a lot of smokes. We're still going out for some call for service along that 36 corridor as well. And so those citizens are back in there, and we just need to patrol that and get those smokes as they pop up. Moving into our main priority yesterday was in that branch 15 area over in the Tehama Union area, as well as up in the Division W area. We got line in there coming from Rock Gulch all the way down, and it was a really tough area yesterday, getting line in there and getting the hose lay in there. But today it was connected, which is our final piece on this whole project up in that area. A lot of hard work yesterday, still a lot of smokes. There's a lot of snags up in that area, very rocky terrain, very steep terrain. Crews were working extremely hard, picking up the smokes. There's still a tremendous amount of heat on the IR, and they were mopping up. They got that hose lay in about 4 a.m. And so today with those laterals, we ought to get a lot of work in there. Moving around through the 172 and the 36 corridor, through the mineral area, there's a lot of snags in there. So we had a lot of snag work yesterday. A lot of fallers were in there, fallen trees. That's going to continue for the next week or so. So there's a tremendous amount of work in there as well. Still a lot of heat, still a lot of smoke, especially in the riparian area as well, where they're just skunking around in that area. So a lot of work was done in there yesterday. Moving around over to the Doe Mountain area, a lot of heat in there. They were mopping up all throughout the day, getting about 300 feet in. Made a lot of progress in there. Coming around and flipping over to the other side of the fire up on the L line. Thank you. Up on the L line, not a lot of smoke up there. We didn't have any flare-ups in there. We're still got some big patches of brush up in there and a lot of heat up in there as well. But we had no spot fires yesterday up in that area, which is the first for a long time, and that's due to the hard work that was put in yesterday. Moving all the way down to the Highway 32 corridor. That whole corridor is on a patrol status right now. There's citizens are all back in there. There's a couple calls for service in that area. Still a little bit of smoke, but very little work due to the hard work that was done prior. So thank you very much. Everybody, it was a good, hard day yesterday, and I appreciate all the work. Thank you.
Weather.
All right. Good morning. Incident meteorologist Ryan Welburn. Before I forget, what I have in the IEP still feel pretty good about. So in your breakouts and tailgates, read that over. Lots of good information. Updated the QR code in there with the weather stations around the fire. Phone number is in there. Do appreciate the fobs, and those of you who have been sending in the weather obs, just sending in a picture is fine. Appreciate that. So in fire weather, we often are focused on change. What's different? And for the last week or so, the challenge has been that the trends were going in the wrong direction, hotter and drier. Today, that's different. We're finally seeing things a little bit cooler and a little bit wetter on the humidity. So out on the fire line this morning, roughly 30 to 40% humidity recovery. That's the best we've seen in at least a week, probably going back to last Sunday morning or so. So we've got better humidity recovery. Up at the tip up on Mill Creek there, the one RAWS is at 70%, but that's not necessarily representative. So we're starting the day with a little bit more humidity. Temperatures will cool down out in branch 10. Rather than being 100 degrees this afternoon, you'll be 95 degrees. Branch 12, the winds continue to be adverse to the line during the afternoon with that southwesterly component. Same thing along branch 10 here, anywhere near the shark tooth here, southwest. Nothing overly strong, gusts 18 or so. Where the main firefight continues in Union X-ray here, your prevailing winds will have a little bit more of a west-southwest component. The winds are underneath the inversion, so we don't expect any strong gusts. In terms of the inversion, you can look on the webcam this morning, see it's settled down there pretty low. The fire's not generating too much heat, so it's going to take a lot to kind of bubble through that. See some percolations by 13 or 1400 hours. If it would break, it would be later in the day, 15 or 1600. Up near the zone break, Dome Mountain, where the heat is closer to the line, you'll stay smoked in there through the day. It'll be harder to kind of punch through on that. For the nighttime operations, we expect even better humidity recovery tonight with light down canyon winds. Thank you.
Fire behavior.
Good morning, Jan Smoots, fire behavior analyst for the park incident. So with those better weather conditions and all the good work that's been done in getting the control lines in place, we're going to see an overall decrease in fire activity today. There is still a good amount of potential out there. You know, the ERCs, BIs are still running that 97th percentile range. And so there still is a lot of potential basically around the entire perimeter of the fire if we get any new ignitions or spot fires outside of our lines. Looking at the difference between the areas where the fire is burning under the inversion and above the inversion. So in the Turner Mountain area of branch 15, the fire activity there is above that inversion. Not really going to see those lid effects that we've seen that you're going to see down in the valleys in that area. The majority of the fire activity and smoke production that you're going to see today is going to be interior islands and pockets burning out, but overall we should see less. Some main areas of focus for potential today. If we get any spots on those steep slopes in the Turner Mountain area, we got a lot of overslung line, a lot of underslung line, so really be paying attention, make sure people are jumping on those spots if they do get established. Also down in along Division Butte Charlie, down through Butte Foxtrot, there's still a lot of heat along the line and some potential for spotting issues in those areas. And pay particular attention to the Deer Creek drainage. Still seeing some heat in there, and if something gets across the line in there, we're gonna have big problems. Think of the fire as presenting opportunities and challenges. Make sure that you are prepared for the challenges, take advantage of the opportunities, and have a productive shift.
Safety.
Good morning, Matt McDonald, safety for the park incident. Today you'll find your safety products on page 6 and 7 of your IAP. Please use these to brief your crews prior to going to the line. Today we'll be supporting you with 12 line safeties out there on the incident. I'd like to touch on a couple things part of your safety message. The first being hazard trees. As the fire moves through here, it left many hazard trees. Please ensure those are identified, everyone around you is aware of them, and mitigate the hazard safe to do so with the proper personnel. The next is knowing what's going on around you, ensuring you know what's going on in the next division. As we have flare-ups in some of our divisions, we may be asking you to surge into those areas. Ensure you get a proper briefing and understand the plan prior to engagement. And the last is driving. We have to continue to talk about driving because driving continues to be a problem. We have to slow down and we have to stay on our side of the road out there. Other people's lives depend on your driving, so we need to slow down. Thank you.
Air operations.
Good morning, park friends. Greg Bradshaw, Air Operations, Park Incident. Air Operations will continue to support your missions and the achievement of your operational objectives. Air attack and fixed wing will be available on request. We continue to provide our rotor wing through our 2 helibases with a total of 16 Type 1 aircraft, 4 Type 2 aircraft, and 5 Type 3 aircraft. Additionally, we have 2 UAS modules. We have 1 mobile retardant base out of Battle Creek. We do have our 2 Type 1 and one Type 3 night-capable aircraft available. Continue to monitor air-to-ground, whether you're working with aircraft or not. Clear eyes, full hearts, together we can.
Communications.
Good morning. Jack Daniels, Communication Leader for the Park Fire. Please open your IAP to page 73. Today's IAP has 4 205s, 2 primary, and 2 backup. Before going out on the line today, please ensure that you are in the primary zones. As a reminder, the only frequencies that are allowed to be used on the Park Fire are the ones listed in your 205. On page 77 is a map. It has the location of all the NIFC repeater command channel locations. Please use that as a reference guide when you're out on the line. On page 78, we've added some information about how the NIFC system works and how you can improve performance if you're having issues with your radio. Today's load is version 5. If you don't have version 5 or you're new to the incident or have any questions, please come see us at the communications trailer. We're located off to the right in front of the communications van. Thank you and have a safe shift.
Medical.
Good morning. Steve McGarry, Park Incident Medical Unit Leader. The medical plan can be found on page 79. If you take a look there, we will continue to provide service through CalMat and MERT at both incident bases. On the line today, we'll have dedicated ALS ambulances, line medics, and REMS teams scattered throughout the incident. Down in box 6 is the emergency reporting procedures. Please brief your crews on that information. In the event of an emergency, please have that information available to us and we'll get you the closest available resource. Thank you.
Information.
Good morning, Wendy Oaks, Information, Park Incident. If you'll turn to page 80, I'll give you some updated numbers. At the top of that page are some information line numbers the public can call if they need information. At the bottom, there's 2 mailing addresses for packages. Starting Monday, mail service will only be available at the Tehama camp, so please use the Red Bluff address if you're having packages mailed to you. For today's numbers, for acreage, we have 429,118. That's 429,118. For containment, 36%. That's 36. And the total personnel is 6,040. That's 6040. Have a great day and be safe out there.
And now for the Tehama Zone roll call and division assignments.
Tyler Holquist, Resource Unit Leader, Park Incident.
Good morning, Kent Cunningham, Tehama Operations.
Roll call for line leadership. Branch 1012, Emmerich. Divisions Delta Echo, Schmidt. Hotel Juliet, Steppig. Lima November, Cliff.
Okay, Andy, you've been out here on Branch 1012 for a couple days now. You know what needs to happen. Every day that we get production in there is every day that we're closer to being done with Branch 1012. So keep up the great work. Keep them pushing in there. Make sure all the line is in where it needs to be.
Branch 15, Batham. Divisions Quebec, Harris. Miguel. Uniform, Welch. Whiskey, Wetstein. X-ray, McLargy. Quigley.
Okay, Mike, Branch 15, that has been where the majority of the work is. We finally got a grip on this thing yesterday. Our hands are still full. We've got to push through. We've got to continue to mop up. We've got to get that depth. We're trying to get as many resources in there as we can. Securing Highway 36 and preventing any spread to the west is our priorities today. If you need aircraft, call it. You will get spots in there. We have to be prepared to step off and go get them.
Zone Contingency, Chapman. Branch Contingency, Konachek. Divisions, Group 3, Callahan. Colomer. Group 5, Cloney. Group 6, McCurtis. Crawford.
All right, contingency, we're not out of the woods yet. This thing can still give us problems. So we need a plan to start wrapping up contingency within the next couple days. Please have a discussion with Deputy Operations so that we make sure that all the great work that you guys have been doing gets on the map. I hope we don't have to use it, but if we do,
we know we're in a good spot because of all your hard work, so please continue.
Branch Tehama Fire Suppression Repair, Morris. Schultz. Divisions, Group 1, Bicondova. Liba. Group 2, Douglas. Group 4, Lusinger. Road 7, Anguiano. Roads 14, McCarthy.
Okay, suppression repair, great job coming up the left side and around the head of that. As we continue to work in branch 15 to button this thing down, we're not out of the woods yet. So please have a plan in place for when we do get that in a couple weeks of what your plan is going to be for suppression repair. Hopefully in a week or two, suppression repair will become the priority and will be the big lift on this incident. So keep doing everything you've done. We appreciate it. We want to make sure that we give a good product back to the unit. Thank you.
All right, and now for a few reminders. At the conclusion of briefing, please go to your division breakouts. They're posted around the briefing area and begin on your right with Tango Delta Echo. If you are unassigned, please meet with the resource unit leader at the table where you got your IEP. For today, next cooperators meeting is at 1000 hours. The next planning meeting is at 1700 hours. The next operational briefing tomorrow morning at 0700 hours in the same location. And now to our Unified Incident Commander for closing comments.
Good morning. My name is Dusty Martin, one of the Unified Incident Commanders. So due to all the hard work that has gone out there, not just in this upper right shoulder here, but the entire fire, we're starting to see some increase in containment this morning, some additional black line on the map. We cannot have complacency set in. We heard from our IMET today. We heard from FBAN. We're still seeing some spots. We have some winds coming in tomorrow, so we need to get in there and start buttoning that up and get as much mop up we can today. This fire's we've been here for some time. Take a minute this morning, make a phone call home if you haven't, recenter yourself and go out there and get after this. I cannot lose ground that we have already put a lot of hard work and paid for up to this point. Please be engaged. Please be seeking out all those hot spots. Be prepared for some winds tomorrow to challenge the line, especially in that upper side, and go out and have a productive day. Thank you.
That'll conclude today's morning operational briefing. Please remember to turn your devices back on and have a safe shift.